guys, welcome to a very special episode of Downunder The Ring. I'm not here with TheWarship this week. He's very busy, but we've got a very special opportunity to have a chat to the Māori berserker, the man of mana in New Japan Pro Wrestling, the one and only HENARE, the never Openweight champion. How's it going, bro? What a wild month you've had, bro.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. The whole year's been pretty crazy, actually, but it's gone really fast, too. So almost dying one month and then back to never Openweight championship a few months later.
Well, this is what I want to sort of let's start right back at the injury, bro, because you just sort of dropped off the face of the planet after that and haven't really spoken about it.
Yeah.
What can you tell us, bro? What happened?
Yeah, I haven't actually spoken publicly about it before since the event, but it was pretty wild, because you've probably seen the Will Ospreay video going around. I legit thought that was it. I legit thought, oh, I'm bleeding to death, but the tour and me kicked in. It's like, oh, this is it. Let's go out swinging. So I legit, and the doctors thought that was it. The trainers thought I was it. Went to the hospital, they thought that was it. But
so you were like, if this is going to be my last match, I'm going to make it worth it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I mean, Will was leaving as well. There was not sort of like United Empire was sort of up in the air. Nobody really knew what was happening, and at the same time, contracts were up too. So there was a lot of unsure atmosphere going on across the board, not just me, but yeah. I think I made the right choice. I didn't give up, didn't give in, although I don't recommend anyone else do that.
Yeah. I mean, it was just a wild image of you with the towel wrapped around your head, just continuing that match. And like you referenced Will Ospreay just recently talked about it. One of the hardest men, he said in Pro Wrestling Today, which, dude, before this, the only hard man we ever talked about in this industry was another Polynesian fella.
It's not Haku?
Haku,
yeah. He's cool, man. He was actually right at the beginning of my New Japan journey. He pulled me aside when he came to New Zealand, and he's like, "Henare, there's space in my family if you'd like to be in it." And then he just messaged me the other day. I was like, "Uncle, thank you for all the advice and everything in the Japanese worldview. It's been a pride of mine to walk with your kainga." So how we say kainga, they say kainga as extended family. And he said, "Not my kainga, our kainga." So I'm like, oh, that hit home, bro. So yeah. Getting the stamp of approval from Haku. But yeah, man, that sometimes it's bad for me because I don't know how much is too much when it comes to like injuries and that.
Yeah.
And I think my body just shuts off the pain, man. There was a lot of I was getting a lot of messages. Do you have CTE? Do you have brain damage or anything? We did the CT scans. No brain damage whatsoever. Which was a surprise to me. It was a surprise to the doctor straight after the match. But it was the bleeding that caused all the damage.
It was just a gnarly scar, right?
Yeah.
It was an arterial bleed.
Arterial rupture. So if it was a millimeter to the left or a millimeter to the right, he would have missed it. But he got 100% on that. It's like a temporal artery that comes up here, and then a little artery at the top of the head there, and he clipped that. The corner of the table clicked there, just like picture perfect. And I was expecting the table to come flat, so I sort of like put my head down like I usually do, but then it turned mid-air and hit me. I'm like, shit.
And those Japanese tables look a lot more unforgiving than what we see in American television.
Yeah, man. They're like actually, if I could take this off, I'd show you. But yeah, it's like, ugh. And like I wasn't even expecting Gabe to come out with a bunch of freaking weapons and throwing it around at everybody. But I think everybody was down. Everybody was down on the side and nobody was getting up. And I was like, I'm not letting this guy take all the spotlight. Stood up, freaking table thrown at my head.
And who's the person they remember from that match now?
Yes, it's me, man. So, yeah. That's true.
Yeah. So anyway, you disappear off the face of the planet for a couple of months, and you've sort of since let the world know that you'd actually gone back to Aotearoa, back to New Zealand. Spent a few months over there recuperating and stuff. But what I found interesting, bro, was throwing a few seeds out there that you might not be going back to Japan.
Uh, it wasn't seeds, man. It was me legit not knowing which path to take, where to go, what to do. On the one hand, it was like I've been in Japan for 8 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's time to move on, or maybe it's time to explore some other avenue. Um, but at the same time, it was like unfinished business, you know. Like I wasn't ready to leave New Japan because when I came here, I made the promise that I'll become never openweight champion. When I first came to the dojo, I told everyone I'm going to be never champion. From a match that I saw at Wrestle Kingdom, so it was Makabe
Mm.
versus Ishii in I think 2015, I believe. It's my first live match that I saw. So I was like, I couldn't give up on that. That's been my goal, my desire for 8 years. I've gone through so many injuries, so many hardships, so much
Mm.
travel, a hectic schedule for 8 years, and I can't leave without a reward. But now that I'm here, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm staying. Come on, bring it,
Now, now,
everybody.
now that he's got the belt,
So,
he's
bring me all
come
the
get it.
toughest guys in the world, and you got guys like Takeshita coming up, and all the other the B block in the G1. I'm just like, yo, I made the
Yeah,
right
and I
choice there.
mean, and Takeshita's like really making a good name for himself internationally now, right?
Yeah,
So
man.
having him in that block, it's going to be a hell of a challenge.
Yeah, insane. But at the same time, there's this atmosphere in Japan where everybody knows, wow, this is the new cycle. So the
Mm.
old guys have all like a sakura that's dropped off the tree. This is the new bloom coming through, and it's like a bunch of us hungry younger guys. So like me, Shoto, Mino, Suji,
Mm.
Uemura, Gabe as well. It's like all these young guys ready to take it, ready to be the bloom of the next generation.
Mm.
And
Now,
I'm
there's a
the never
lot.
champ at the start of it.
Well, that's exactly what I want to talk about next. Is you hear a lot about in pro wrestling where once you've got the belt, it's a whole new pressure. Now you've had the belt for what, just over a week now?
Yeah,
Two,
if that,
yeah.
probably less.
Are you starting to feel that already?
Kind of. The Japanese style's a slow burn, so it's a
Mm.
long time. They try to keep you down, like not down, but they keep you out of the championship picture for so long that the pressure's already there. So to be
Mm.
honest, it doesn't really feel that much different from a few weeks ago because I've already been at this level for so long, but I just couldn't. Last year I did the KOPW championship. I wrestled Kenny and Okada at New Year's Dash. I did the tag team championship match. I did the never six man tag team championships, and then I did the tag league as well. So it's like I've been at this level for so long, but it's only just recently the bloom. If you're talking about
Mm.
seeds, the bloom has only just sprouted recently, if that makes sense. But I
Yeah,
feel like the pressures have been the same the entire time.
and you and the entire United Empire now, almost all of you are strapped in gold.
Yeah, man. Yep.
It's got to be an amazing group chat right now.
Yeah, yeah. So it's pretty amazing, and you got guys like Mark Davis and Callum. Callum only started in September last year, right?
Mm.
And Mark Davis, Dunkzilla, the Aussie boy, has been injured for quite a while, so that's why
Absolutely.
he hasn't got it. But I guarantee you, if Callum was about a year ago, or more, he'd have a belt by now. If Davis wasn't injured, he'd have a belt by now. All of us would be belted up right now. So I think Empire, this is probably the strongest that we've ever been across the board in different countries and different companies as well.
It's got to
Amazing.
be currently across all the main wrestling organizations. You guys have got to
Yep.
be probably the most strapped up faction
Yeah, man.
globally right now.
Yeah, especially with singles as well. I think Bang Bang Gang, I think Jay White's crew, who Kiwi again,
Yep.
had a bunch of championships as well. But I think in total singles, I think we outrank every single faction in the world. I think.
Yeah. And then that's
It's
got to be an
mad.
honor as well, right?
Yeah, man, and it's so cool because I like the fact that we all represent different countries, different cultures and stuff. It's amazing. And yeah, like Jeff from Hawaii, another Hawaiian boy as well, and Oka, he's Mongolian.
Hmm. Um, Now we just touched on Bang Bang Gang with Jay White,
Mm.
and you actually saw my tweet the other day where I was talking about, currently we have in three different organizations three amazing representations of Aotearoa in pro wrestling right now. You've got yourself, you've got Jay
Yeah,
over in AEW, and you've got Dakota Kai in
yeah.
New Zealand. How important is do you see your role in pro wrestling as sort of being that representation of Māori, not just in name, but very obviously when people look at you,
And everything.
you are that Māori representation in pro wrestling. Like, how important is that to you, and how much mana do you take in being that person right now?
It's that idea that you are the Māori wrestler right now is what got me through the dojo. So you've probably heard we do like thousands of squats, push hundreds of push-ups and sit-ups,
Oh, I've heard
etc.,
gnarly
etc.
stories about the dojo.
Bro, that idea that I am going to form a pathway for Maori people in pro wrestling. I'm going to form a pathway for Maori people in pro wrestling. I used to go to the dojo and dream about it. I'd meditate on
Mm,
that concept because apart there was a guy used to be a guy Mana the Polynesian
yeah.
warrior. So he used to wrestle in the Indies in America before his whole character was stolen. Um, uh, but there's been no other Maori wrestlers since then. So
Yeah.
it's not only just a massive responsibility, but it's a massive mountain to get over. Not just a Maori wrestler being signed full time to a professional wrestling company, but becoming a champion, becoming a top guy, and sort of being able to try show everybody, hey, this is a possibility. Because every single Maori kid, Samoan kid, Kiwi kid grows up watching wrestling, wants to be a
Oh,
wrestler
absolutely.
at least once in their life. They think about what would life be if I was a professional wrestler.
It's funny
Now,
because I always say that I had like five different things I wanted to do when I was a kid. Like, one of them was be a rapper. I tried that. I wasn't good at it, but at least I did it. I wanted
yeah,
to work in radio. I did that. I wanted to work in advertising. Currently killing it at that. And the
yeah,
other
yeah,
one was I wanted to work in pro wrestling.
yeah.
I was like, it's the one thing on my list that I haven't done.
It doesn't have to be a wrestler, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like it's a massive responsibility, and I mean, Maori Avenues have been supporting me since for like the last 9 years now.
Hmm.
They've featured me quite heavily since 2015, and they've supported me when I did my first application for WWE. They were supporting me then. When I did the tryout, they were supporting me then. When I came back to Aotearoa, they were supporting me then. So it's massive, bro. And I know how special it'll be for a Maori kid watching the TV saying, "Hey, the fellow with the matura, he's from Whangarei, or he's from Northland. I'm from Northland too, man." So it's just that we
Well,
don't get that. I mean, you get Samoan girls with Dakota Kai, and you get a lot of Pākehā guys with Jay White that could relate
Well,
to him.
even
But
even me and you were saying the other day was, there's always been a lot of Polynesian representation in pro wrestling. Like,
yeah,
look at currently, we've got the Bloodline, we've got Samoa Joe, even though he's American Samoan, but
yeah,
he's still Polynesian.
yeah,
You've got a whole bunch of guys across the entire industry representing Polynesians, whether it's Tongan, Samoan, or
Hawaiian,
whatever. Yeah, Hawaiian, plenty of Hawaiians in there as well.
yeah,
But yeah, it's just being able to, and I would say most of them have been a really positive sort of role model, even for Māori to sort of
yeah,
see,
yeah, yeah,
because very similar cultures,
yeah,
but actually having one of their own. Like, my kids growing up, they loved the Usos and all that sort of thing
yeah,
because they look like them.
yeah, yeah,
So having
yeah.
someone like yourself that looks like them because you are one of
Mhm.
them, that would have been huge for them when they were younger. And I
Yeah,
imagine it'll be the same for young kids now.
yeah, man. And it's just like it's something that most people don't really think about is that representation as well, and just like how special it is, just like you said, to see someone that looks like you, someone that has shared your lived
Mm,
experiences and stuff like that, all the
mm,
hardships. I can relate to that guy because he's been through it all too, the same as me.
yeah.
So
Oh,
that's like, it was mana for me. I couldn't believe that there was a Maori wrestler on the Indies in America, but now
mm.
level up from there, and hopefully after me, more guys will go even
And
further.
that's the thing, right? Is it's you're not there to be the Māori wrestler forever. Like, hopefully this is opening up the gates, bro. You're pulling other people up, and this
Yeah,
is something that we're actually already seeing you having a hand in with Aotearoa Wrestling, which you guys have
yeah.
got a show coming up.
Yes, sir. It's been in the works for quite a while. Actually, I had it planned in 2019, and the New Zealand government was going to fund it. And obviously, 2020 hit, and COVID just ruined everything. So we've had like 4 years of a delay, but here we're finally here, and we're drawing the biggest crowds in Aotearoa in New Zealand since the Bushwick. It's not Bushwick. So On the Mat, Steve Rickard.
Yeah.
So yeah, but your viewers might not know, but wrestling used to be rugby and wrestling back in the day.
Oh,
The
absolutely.
two
Like New
popular
Zealand
sports.
was a huge NWA territory, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So they used to have like Harley Race, Andre the Giant, Peter Maivia used to come all the time. Rocky Johnson,
Yeah.
the Friday night, Grey Street in the Auckland CBD. On the Mat used to be
Well, even as
massive.
a Taranaki boy, they used to do the tour of the North
Yeah,
Island and come
yeah,
through New
yeah,
Plymouth, bro.
yeah. Yeah, so
Even
it used
even
to.
WWF back in the day used to quietly do tours of New Zealand.
Oh wow, even down there.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to tell you this little side story. My father always said, if the WWF ever come to New Zealand, I'll take you. And I was like, awesome, Dad, I'd love to go. It never happened. It wasn't until like a year ago, somebody shared online a newspaper clipping of WWF event in New Plymouth live, and it showed the card of everyone who was going to be there. And it was when I would have been about 10. And I was just like, you motherfucker.
He didn't take it. Oh man, yeah. My dad was the opposite. I had to work for my own ticket money to go watch the shows, but I'm glad I did because at the one of my first live shows that I ever went to, I bought like the cheapest $50 ticket, saved up my money for like 5 weeks.
Mm.
Yeah, $50. Um, I jumped up the first section. The security guard turned around. I jumped up the second section. Did that all the way to the front row. And then after Batista won his match, he left the ring, came to the corner, picked me up, and hugged me. And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be a wrestler." So that was the
Bro,
moment. That was the moment when I was like, "Yeah, I'm being a wrestler." Yeah,
that's amazing. What an amazing moment. So, and
yeah, bro.
what an amazing role model. Batista's like
Yeah,
showing
I
the
love him,
world how
man.
to do it,
Yeah,
not just in the career, but what happens after as well.
yeah. Not just the career wise, but him as a person as well. He's
As a
like a
person,
really good person, man. Like environmentalist as well. It's like
yeah.
great guy, man. I respect him,
And
and I'm glad I chose.
he stands on business to the point where he's even covered up tattoos and gone, nah, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I love him, man. He's one of my heroes, all time heroes.
yeah. Um, Now, I'd love to talk to you about the Mata Order.
Yeah, bro.
So, you left Japan, you had the moustache, you come back, you've got the Mata Order. How has that been sort of received in Japan and received in general by the audience?
It's been great, man. At first they thought, I mean, because at first I used to wear paint,
Hmm,
so they were kind of already understood the fact that we design stuff on our face, but they didn't actually understand the deeper meaning until last
hmm,
year when I debuted it. And for the listeners, it's not just a fashion thing. You don't just get it for fashion. In
hmm.
fact, it's complete opposite. You don't even choose your own
No,
mata. You don't choose the design. We call it moko kanoi, but it's all up to the kaita, the tattooist, the artist, and you give him who you are, where you're from, who your ancestors are, and then he
it's a
makes it into art
process.
and then places it on your face. And it's your duty to just receive it. It's not your duty to tell him what to do. So the whole Western sort of idea about tattoos as a fashion statement sort of it's still weird to me. Um, but then again, all my Maori friends were like, "Bro, you jump into the heartiest tattoo because it's not just this. It's not the
So, is
only
this your
tattoo
first
ever.
tattoo?
Yeah, first ever.
Wow.
I was never really into the fashion side. It was actually the whakapapa, which is sounds bad, but it means genealogy, which is what made me decide to get it because I realized, hey, I'm not some peasant from a lower class place. I'm actually from this long line of chiefs that goes back 1,000 years, you know.
Hmm.
So that was a massive revelation to me, and it sort of like put me more at ease with who I am myself, you know.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys are confused about who they are, so they start picking up all these toxic traits. But when I actually learned, wow, this is who I am, I just you probably it reflected in the ring as well, man. Like last year, August, everything just changed for me,
Yeah.
and it all comes back. The Matora isn't supposed to be a way for you to reach back. It's a way for your ancestors to help you go forward,
To
which was
almost
a
push forward
massive
or lift
thing.
you up.
Yeah, and mate, the first day that I revealed it. I should have died. I should have been paralyzed with the Mikey Nichols pile driving me onto my neck. But I was unscathed. Somehow I was unscathed. It was just amazing. So that made me just believe in it even more.
And
Protection.
so, would you say it's been part of a bigger journey as well?
Yeah, yeah, massive journey, and this is only stage one. So the journey of reclaiming identity, because a lot of our culture was repressed and made
Mm,
illegal. This was actually illegal 100 years ago,
mm.
but now it's more
And,
open and we're,
and frowned upon only 20 or so.
yeah, yeah. I mean, even today, even nowadays, there was the only resistance that I've ever had about it, in Japan was from a Kiwi lady.
Yeah,
So yeah, there was a very it was a Maori restaurant in Tokyo, in the right bam next to Tokyo Tower, and I looked at her and I just did the the nod, and
yeah,
then she looks at me like ugh, take that someplace else, you savage. But she was like,
yeah.
would have been a 60 or 70-year-old Pakeha lady, which is the only resistance I've ever had to it in
In
Japan.
Japan.
But Japanese, because their culture is so entrenched in tikanga, in their customs, that
Mm,
they kind of can put two and two together and understand, oh, this is a very respectful thing. And they've actually been coming to my defense when, like, foreigners who don't know about it, who think it's just a fashion statement, start attacking it. They'll be attacking back in my defense. So yeah, it's
yeah.
crazy, man. But yeah, I didn't mean to start any fights by getting it. I
No,
was legit just proud of my ancestry, so I put them on my face.
absolutely. And that's the strength and the mana that you're going to hold to take you forward in your
Yeah,
entire
man.
life going forward, right? Not just pro
Yeah.
wrestling.
And that's only the first part, so still got
Well,
everything else to do. Yeah.
so we actually received a question online, which was you've just answered. That was, is there more tattoos, or old translators? Is there more moko to come?
Yeah. The my kaita, we're from the same iwi up north in northern New Zealand, messaged
Hmm.
me just after he saw the Never Openweight Championship win. He was like, okay, Puhoro next, which
Yeah,
means the thigh hip tattoos, which is a massive deal. So it's sort of like
that's a long day,
only,
bro.
yeah, no, long week, one
Yeah.
week, seven. So he said, your tree trunk legs will take about 7 days.
Wow.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a journey. It's a battle. I'm looking forward to. Just yeah, just I explained it like it is painful, and feeling it is the most intense pain that I've ever felt in my life. But I'm feeling exactly what my ancestors felt, so feel more connected to them in that way. We're
Absolutely.
experiencing the same thing at different points in time.
So
So, yeah.
while we're talking questions that have come in, another one that we got was: is there anybody that you'd like to fight next? So who's on the hit list, bro?
I mean, bro, Takeshito was a massive one coming in. I mean, I'm looking forward to that match. I've always liked Cesaro and Miro, those two guys. I mean, those like high level WWE guys that have just conquered around the world. And I met them last year in Osaka.
Hmm.
But man, just those types of like powerhouse guys, I really
Yeah.
really like.
Well,
Um,
there is a big crossover event happening in the coming weeks. What's the chances that we see a reunited Empire on American television come out?
man, I'm hoping for it. But so is a thousand other guys waiting to get on the show. But man, there's nothing I'd love more than to team back up with Osprey, Fletcher, Davis, and all the boys come to Forbidden Door. But it depends on spaces. If there's spaces
Yep.
and I get the call, bam, I'm there straight away, taking the
I
Never
mean,
Openweight
it's
Championship.
already a day long show, that one, right?
Really? I
Oh,
haven't really checked so
if,
much. I know Will's got the big one.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, if I remember right, the last two of them have been almost 6 hour shows.
Oh
They've
wow.
been long. They've been
Yeah, yeah.
long.
Man, yeah. Where is it? Where is it now? What city?
I can't remember exactly what city it is. Yeah, not off the
Yeah.
top of my head, but
We
yeah.
traveled. The last time we were there was like one day fly in, do the match, next day fly out. It was like wow, insane. But yeah, that AEW is like cracking. I was super surprised because back when I was living in New Zealand, there was not really much TV. There was only WWE Raw,
Yeah,
SmackDown, maybe. I got home in April, and even AEW was on TV at 7 p.m.
yeah.
So like took a
In a
photo of
prime time slot.
prime time slot ESPN, and I took a photo of Will. I'm like, bro, you're on prime time in New Zealand right now. So it's just like I didn't understand how massive it had actually got because I've been very localized to Japan.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Well,
massive.
there's a lot of rumors about Australia being next on the hit list for AEW because they've just announced the UK tour that they're
Yeah,
doing to support Wembley. And look, WWE just saw massive numbers here with their
yeah,
big
yeah.
PLE, so it only
Elimination
makes
Chamber.
sense that Tony brings something over here. And dude, I'm itching. Hopefully, I'd love to see a live AEW show.
Bring it on. I'm right there. I'm 2 hours away
Well,
from you guys, so all good.
that's what I mean. You're only a short flight, bro.
Nah, man, that'll be massive. Yeah. I mean, wrestling in the entire world right now is booming, so it doesn't matter whether it's WWE who have been putting on amazing shows, AEW who have been putting on amazing shows, or just like you saw last week, New Japan always putting on amazing shows. CMLL doing Fantastica Mania as well. Like,
Yeah.
I think this is the next big golden age of wrestling in the world
Oh,
coming up.
I would almost say currently we are in a better state than we were in the 90s. Like I don't think
Yeah,
the mainstream hype is quite up there as it was with peak WCW yet. Like I
yeah,
can't go into um, a local department store and buy a shirt yet. Well, like we
yeah,
did,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we used to be able to pop
I
into
heard
the
about
warehouse
that.
and buy a NWO shirt back in the day.
Yeah,
Um, it's not quite there in the mainstream yet, but I think right now the product and the options and
yeah,
all of
of
that is
course.
bigger and better than it's ever been. And we're back in that same sort of era where I'm starting to see people that I've known for 10 years publicly talking about pro wrestling like they've kept it a secret.
Yeah, man.
Like,
Yeah,
not,
yep,
not
yep.
everybody's like me who's openly like, bro, I'm a pro wrestling fan.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Because
know,
it's sort
and
of
all,
Australia and New Zealand. It's sort of looked down upon because they're only thinking about those '90s when they were kids and how they used to like the Road Dogg Jesse James and the badass Billy Guns. But
yeah.
it's sort of evolved so much. Even the in ring across the
Yeah. Oh,
board has evolved so
absolutely.
much, man. So that which makes it harder for us, because we have to keep on innovating. But the competition's so good, and I think if the competition is good, the product's going to be even better.
Oh, absolutely. Because everybody needs to stand out and
Yeah,
do
yeah.
better, right?
See someone tattoo their face. Just kidding, just kidding. Yeah.
Last question that we got from a viewer. Um, what went through your mind before the championship match?
Oof, bro, I was actually in tears to be honest because that match is something that I've wanted for so long. The one in Osaka was my return singles match after almost dying, so I was nervous as hell, man. I didn't know
Mm,
if I was just gonna, and I was sort of, when you're so nervous that you're shaking, but it means you're burning energy so much. I think
yeah.
that's what happened. So I was cooked, man. At the end of that match, it wasn't even a long match. It was like maybe 15 or 16 minutes.
Mm,
But I was just cooked because 3 months of February, March, April, May, and then come back June. So
yeah.
man, that's almost 5 months. But just my body was cooked and my nerves were shocked because I couldn't like I was so excited to come back. So I was a lot better in that second match in Sapporo there. But the fact that they gave me the
Well,
match that I've always
clearly you were
wanted,
better.
yeah, 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 I almost fell again. But yeah, man, they gave me the match that I always wanted. They gave me the platform that I always wanted. They gave me the chance that I always wanted. And
And an
after the
amazing
match,
opponent.
yeah, oh, bro, he's one of my favorite things about pro wrestling because he just brings that Japanese style. The thing that makes Japan Japanese wrestling is that whole like Yamato Damashi. I say it time and time again in Japanese, but it means like that Japanese spirit, that undying spirit, man. That's like their people are so united and like all of them have the same pathway in life. Like they're all wanting to contribute to the collective betterment of their society, which I very much respect. And
Mm,
that's meant their language has stayed intact, their cultures have stayed intact. And Takagi is someone that like he goes to pray every single day,
yeah.
doesn't rain or shine. He goes to like he likes respecting his ancestors, respecting like he's a legit samurai. He's from a line of samurai, bro. And
Mm.
it's just like I probably kissed his ass too much online to be like a badass, but you can still respect someone and still be their rival.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
that's the and he I felt out of the last 3 or 4 years, he's been the one to bring out the best in me. Guys like him, guys like Ishii, those two have like really, really helped me bring myself out. Not so much, what's the word, shape me, but help me bring myself out,
Mm.
and be more comfortable.
Bring out
So,
what was already there.
yeah, bring out the mana. So they
Yeah.
felt it as well. They felt it like years ago. Like Shingo, I wrestled him 2018 or 19 when he first got to Japan, New Japan. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And I think my last question is, um, what's next for HENARE at the end of this run with the title? How long you're going to hold it forever, or what's the plans essentially?
But it's pretty tough the timing of it because I win it now, and then the next big tour is the G1. So it's just like getting thrown in the deep end, having to all the toughest guys in the world coming at me. So it's going to be a tough challenge, the G1. But imagine being never open weight champion and winning the G1, being the first Māori champion and the first Māori G1 winner. And then after that, where do we go? We've still got the Destruction Tour in September, and then Power Struggle in October, Tag League in November, where I hope to get some more boys in from Aotearoa. And then
Mm-hmm.
obviously the big one in Wrestle Kingdom. So haven't had a Māori in Wrestle Kingdom yet. I'd love to wrestle Shingo again at Wrestle Kingdom. If not, someone like Ishii, or if there's an international guy that's keen, I'm keen on that. But
Yeah,
I'll
I'd,
roll with the punches.
personally, it'd be amazing seeing you on that main stage at Kingdom, or
Yeah.
in the future, who knows where else. Um, and final note, tell us all about the Aotearoa wrestling event coming up in a couple of weeks' time, bro.
Yeah, so it's going to be my return show to Aotearoa, New Zealand. So it's been in the works for quite a while, and we've got 20 guys from New Zealand, from Aotearoa, who are in it. So I've scouted out the best guys. So you've got guys like Marcus Cool, who are actually from the UK, and he runs SPW, Southern Pro Wrestling New Zealand,
Mm-hmm.
who they had people like Tennille Dashwood on their card a few years ago. So it's quite big. They had Will
I
Ospreay
think
on that
I was
same
just going
one,
to
I'm
say,
pretty sure.
I remember there
Yeah,
being a Will Ospreay. I
yeah,
remember a video of Will Ospreay sitting on a chair in the middle of the ring and talking his shit. So
yeah, yep,
I'm
yep,
pretty
yep.
sure
So
that was a
it's massive, man. And so we've got not just them, but all over the New Zealand wrestling independent scene. I've just picked out the best guys and put them all together, and then they get to fight me. But we've also got the Aotearoa Heavyweight Championship match, which is going to be massive. James Shaw, who actually at one point came to Japan
hmm.
and was offered a DDT spot, but he just enjoyed his life so much. He just like he's a gamer. He's a hardcore gamer. I think he was like the fourth person in the world to platinum the new Abe's Odyssey game.
God damn.
Just that's how good he is. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, he's also on there. It's going to be a massive night, and it's going to be probably one of the biggest shows that New Zealand wrestling's seen since On the Mat. July 13th, Pakuranga. So I'm going back home after this tour to go sort that out.
Yep.
Yeah.
And tickets are still available online,
Yep, available. Everything
aotearoawrestling.com.
all online. I think the front row's sold out, but yeah, we'll get in quicker. I think this is the biggest pre-sales they've ever had. So,
Yeah.
it's going to be an exciting night. Come see the never openweight champion, Aotearoa heavyweight champion, IPW New Zealand heavyweight champion, and the king of Kiwis, Michael Richards as well.
Awesome. Make sure you check that out if you're in Aotearoa. Make the trip up
Come on.
the Mutu if
Yeah.
you're not in Auckland. It's going to be an amazing event. And look, good luck with the future with the Never Openweight champion. I hope you have a long reign. I want to see you still holding that title in January, brother.
Yeah, let's go. Wrestle Kingdom title match. Let's go.